I am officially demanding a serious public apology from every single internet artist in the world right now. They make it look so incredibly peaceful and easy. You just take a soft piece of wet dirt, you spin it around with your thumbs, and suddenly you have a beautiful coffee mug. But my kitchen is completely covered in gray mud, and I just created a heavy, depressed rock.
You tried to make a handmade clay mug inside your clean apartment? Oh wow, Sam, look at your terrible gray fingernails. Welcome to a very messy, highly creative episode of the English Unscripted podcast, everyone. I am Lita.
And I am Sam, the man who completely destroyed his wooden kitchen table for the beautiful sake of modern art. Today, guys, we are completely diving into the crazy world of art and creativity, the terrible trap of internet craft videos, and why making a simple drinking cup is actually an impossible human task.
It is definitely not as easy as it looks on a small screen, Sam. We have three very colorful chapters for you today, guys. First, we are talking about terrible homemade art disasters. Then we will explore the extreme panic of trying to draw a real person's face. And finally, we will talk about why abstract art is completely confusing for normal adults.
3 chapters of pure artistic therapy. But wait, Lita, before I tell you how my gray dirt rock completely ruined my morning, we have a very special creative mission for our language learners today.
Oh, absolutely. What is the big artistic strategy for our listeners this time, Sam? We need them to be highly creative.
Listeners, if you want to completely master this beautiful language and paint a perfect picture in your brain, you absolutely cannot just listen to this audio once. You have to treat this podcast exactly like painting a massive, expensive masterpiece.
A beautiful masterpiece. I completely love that idea, Sam. How do we actually paint with our English vocabulary?
Well, the very first time you listen, you're just sketching the light pencil lines. You enjoy the funny story, you laugh at my gray mud, and you just understand the basic shape of the conversation. But the second time, you pick up your heavy brushes and add the deep, beautiful colors. You pause the video, you repeat the heavy words out loud, and you completely finish your vocabulary painting.
Yes, add the beautiful vocabulary colors, guys. Paint exactly like a professional. So, Sam, please tell me you did not actually try to drink hot coffee out of your depressed gray rock.
I honestly tried to be a proud creative artist, Lita. I waited 3 entire days for the thick mud to dry on my kitchen window. I brought the heavy gray rock directly to the corporate office and I placed it proudly on my desk. The strict, bald manager was walking past my chair. He stopped completely and he stared at my artistic creation for exactly 30 seconds.
Oh no, 30 seconds of complete silence. What did he actually say about your beautiful handmade cup?
He looked deeply into my eyes and he asked why I was keeping a piece of bizarre street garbage next to my computer keyboard. He thought it was a completely random rock from the parking lot.
Honestly, Sam, looking at your messy hands and hearing that story, I think the word bizarre is absolutely perfect for our listeners to deeply understand today. Bizarre.
Yes, bizarre. It is an excellent B1 adjective that describes something that is incredibly strange, completely unusual, and makes you feel very confused because it makes absolutely no sense. Like bringing a heavy, dirty rock to a clean corporate office and calling it a bizarre piece of modern art.
Listeners, you definitely need to practice this incredibly strange, weird word and say it with us right now.
Say it loud and clear in your room, guys. Stop making strange clay cups.
Bizarre.
Bizarre. My artistic creation was completely bizarre, Lita. I honestly just wanted to hide my gray rock inside my yellow jacket. And that actually makes me very curious about our creative listeners.
Oh, we definitely need to hear their messy secrets. Listeners, we have our first very creative, highly bizarre question for you right now. When you feel incredibly inspired and try to make something beautiful with your own hands, what is the absolute worst DIY art disaster you have ever created? Did you try to paint your bedroom a crazy color or maybe glue your own fingers together?
Tell us your absolute worst artistic nightmares in the comments down below. We desperately need to know I am not the only adult making bizarre gray rocks. So, Lita, do you want to know exactly what happened when I proudly poured hot coffee into the heavy mud? I honestly thought it was completely solid, Lita. I stood in front of my computer and I confidently poured the steaming hot black coffee directly into the top of my beautiful gray rock, and immediately I heard a terrible soft melting sound.
Oh no, a soft melting sound? Sam, you just air dried a thick piece of wet dirt in your kitchen window. It is absolutely not a real waterproof ceramic cup. Did the hot coffee actually stay inside?
It absolutely did not, Lita. The boiling hot liquid completely destroyed the bottom of my artistic creation in exactly 3 seconds. The dark coffee poured straight down, all over my clean wooden desk and completely splashed onto my bright yellow banana jacket. I looked at the terrible mess and I loudly yelled, "It was supposed to hold my morning coffee!"
Wait a minute, guys. Listeners, I have a fantastic native secret for you right here. Did you hear how Sam just pronounced the words supposed to? He sounded incredibly formal, exactly like an angry scientist testing a completely broken invention in a clean laboratory.
Oh no, did I sound completely robotic again, Lita? I thought supposed to was the absolute perfect serious way to explain how my beautiful art creation completely betrayed my trust.
It is absolutely perfect if you are reading a formal instruction manual for a coffee machine, but when native speakers are talking fast, especially when we are highly disappointed that our art projects are melting on our desks, we almost never pronounce the heavy D and T sounds. We just smash them completely together and say supposta, supposta.
Oh, supposed to. It was supposed to hold my coffee. That sounds so much faster and incredibly emotional, Lita. It completely shows my absolute heartbreak and panic.
Exactly. Use supposta when you want to sound completely natural and relaxed in casual conversation, guys. It was supposed to work perfectly. So, Sam, did the strict bald manager actually see the massive coffee flood on your clean desk?
He definitely saw everything, Lita. He threw a whole box of white paper tissues directly at my yellow jacket, and he loudly told me to stop making bizarre dirt cups and just use a normal plastic mug from the company kitchen.
You are officially banned from making 3D clay art, Sam. But honestly, failing at making a physical, messy cup is just a funny disaster on your own private desk. The absolute worst, most terrifying kind of artistic risk is when you try to capture a real human being on a flat piece of paper. So guys, grab your pencils and hide your bad sketches, because we are drawing a straight line directly into Chapter 2. We are going to explore the extreme panic of trying to draw your close friend's face, why drawing human eyes is mathematically impossible, and the terrible embarrassment of making your friend look exactly like a confused potato. Let's go.
Lita, drawing a simple round apple on a piece of paper is a wonderful, relaxing hobby. But sitting in a long corporate meeting, holding a blue pen, and deciding to secretly draw a realistic picture of your strict, bald manager is a completely dangerous survival game.
You tried to draw his shiny bald head during a serious financial meeting? Sam, why did you even take that massive artistic risk? You just melted a gray dirt cup on your own desk.
Because I completely wanted to look highly busy and productive, Lita, I was staring down at my white notebook, moving my blue pen very fast, and looking intensely at his face. I honestly thought I was a famous Italian painter, so I looked at his angry eyes and I confidently drawed his nose.
Wait, Sam, you confidently drawed his nose? The strict English grammar police are absolutely taking away your blue pen right now. Draw is a completely irregular artistic verb, my famous Italian painter. You cannot just put an ED on the end of it and hope it works. You definitely drew his nose. Drew.
Oh, right. Thank you, Officer Lita. I absolutely drew his nose. My tired artist brain completely forgot the irregular verbs because I was so incredibly focused on his shiny head. But honestly, Lita, when I finally looked down at my finished picture, my artistic heart completely stopped. It did not look like a strong, serious manager at all.
Oh no, what did he actually look like on the paper, Sam?
One eye was massive and looking directly at the ceiling, his nose was completely crooked, and he had tiny little potato ears. His entire face looked incredibly distorted. He looked exactly like my terrible green potato alien painting.
Honestly, Sam, picturing that terrible, crooked alien face on your white paper, I think that is a wonderfully weird, highly artistic vocabulary word for our listeners to deeply understand today. Distorted.
Yes, distorted is an excellent B1 adjective that describes something that is completely pulled out of its normal, natural shape, looking incredibly strange, weird, and totally wrong, like drawing a serious, bald manager and making his face look completely distorted and creepy.
Listeners, you definitely need to practice this incredibly weird, crooked word and say it with us right now.
Say it loud and clear in your room, guys. Stop drawing your angry bosses.
Ted.
Distorted. My secret blue pen picture was completely distorted, Lita. I honestly wanted to eat the paper to hide the terrible evidence, and that actually makes me very curious about our drawing listeners.
Oh, we definitely need to hear their artistic apologies. Listeners, we have our second very embarrassing creative question for you right now. When you pick up a pen and try to draw a real human being, what is the absolute hardest part of the face that always looks completely wrong and distorted? Is it drawing the second eye so it matches the first one? Or maybe making the nose look like a real human nose?
Tell us your absolute worst drawing struggles in the comments down below. We desperately need to know I am not the only adult drawing distorted alien managers. So, Lita, do you want to know what happened when the bald manager suddenly stopped talking, walked around the big table, and looked directly down at my white notebook?
Oh no, I am actually terrified for your job, Sam. Please do not tell me he saw the tiny potato ears on his own face.
He stared directly at the blue ink for exactly 10 seconds, Lita. I was completely shaking inside my yellow jacket. But then he pointed at the white paper, looked at me, and loudly asked, "Sam, why are you drawing an ugly, sad potato monster during my financial presentation?"
Oh my goodness. An ugly potato monster? Sam, he completely did not realize it was a serious picture of his own face.
Not at all, Lita. The crooked eyes and the strange nose were so incredibly bad, the picture did not even resemble him. It was a complete accident, but my terrible drawing skills actually saved my corporate career. I quickly closed the notebook and told him it was just a scary enemy from my weekend video game.
Honestly, Sam, hearing how your secret drawing looked absolutely nothing like the real bald manager, I think that is a wonderfully lucky vocabulary word for our listeners to deeply understand today. Resemble.
Yes, resemble is an excellent B1 verb that means to look exactly like or be very similar to someone or something else, like drawing a serious picture of your strict boss and being completely happy that it doesn't resemble him at all because it looks like a sad potato.
Listeners, you definitely need to practice this incredibly lucky similar word and say it with us right now.
Say it loud and clear in your room, guys. Hide your secret notebooks.
Bull.
Resemble. The blue drawing completely failed to resemble a real human being, Lita. I am officially never drawing a face ever again.
I completely support that wise decision, Sam. You should definitely stick to drawing simple, round apples. But honestly, making a terrible drawing that doesn't resemble anything real is actually how some people become incredibly famous and rich. Because when a picture makes absolutely zero logical sense, we just call it high-class modern art. So guys, throw away your normal pencils and grab a massive bucket of bright red paint because we're splashing directly into Chapter 3. We're going to explore the absolute confusion of abstract art, why staring at a single black dot on a white wall makes adults cry, and the terrible madness of paying millions of dollars for a canvas that your cat could paint. Let's go.
Lita, making a completely terrible drawing of your boss is definitely a funny accident.
But putting on my bright yellow banana jacket, walking into an expensive quiet art museum, and staring at a massive white canvas with exactly one straight red line painted in the middle is an absolute insult to my human brain.
One straight red line? Oh, wow, Sam. You actually went to a fancy modern art gallery? I completely bet everyone inside was wearing dark clothes and looking incredibly serious.
They were completely silent, Lita. I stood directly next to a very tall man with tiny round glasses. He was staring deeply at the single red line, holding his chin, and he actually started crying. He was wiping real tears from his eyes over a painted stick.
Oh my goodness, crying over a straight red line? Sam, he was probably trying to understand the deep emotional pain of the artist. He was looking at the basic shape and trying to find a massive secret message hidden inside.
But there is absolutely no message, Lita. I honestly just wanted to tell him that a small child with a red marker could do the exact same thing in 5 seconds. Everyone in the room was trying to find a crazy, deep meaning that did not even exist.
Honestly, Sam, watching adults cry over a simple line because they want to find a hidden meaning, I think that is a wonderfully confusing, highly artistic vocabulary word for our listeners to deeply understand today. Interpret.
Yes, interpret. It is an excellent B1 verb that means to look at something very confusing, like a strange painting or a crazy dream, and try to explain or decide exactly what the hidden meaning is, like trying to interpret why a single red line on a white wall makes a grown man cry in a quiet museum.
Listeners, you definitely need to practice this completely deep explaining word and say it with us right now.
Say it loud and clear in your room, guys. Stop crying at the museum.
Interpret.
Interpret. I completely failed to interpret the magical red line, Lita. I honestly just wanted to eat a sandwich, and that actually makes me very curious about our cultured listeners.
Oh, we absolutely need to hear their museum confusion. Listeners, we have our third and final, very artistic question for you right now. When you walk into a modern art gallery or look at pictures on the internet, what is the absolute weirdest, most confusing piece of abstract art you have ever seen? Have you ever seen a real banana taped to a white wall, or maybe an empty glass of water?
Tell us your absolute weirdest museum experiences in the comments down below. I desperately need to know I am not the only adult who cannot interpret modern art. So Lita, do you want to know what exactly happened when I decided to loudly share my personal opinion with the crying man?
I am actually covering my ears right now, San. Please do not tell me you told the crying man that his favorite painting looks exactly like a cheap red marker.
I completely did, Lita. I leaned very close to him, wearing my bright yellow jacket, and I confidently whispered, "Sir, please stop crying. My 5-year-old nephew could paint this boring red stick in 2 seconds."
Oh no, you insulted the red line right to his face. What did the tall man do, Sam?
He completely stopped crying, Lita. He wiped his eyes, looked at my yellow jacket with absolute anger, and he loudly shouted to the entire quiet museum, "I am the artist, you uncultured banana! That red line represents my broken heart."
Oh my goodness, the crying man was the actual famous artist, and he called you an uncultured banana? Sam, that is the most embarrassing museum story in human history.
I was completely shaking, Lita. Everyone in the silent room turned around and stared directly at me. I just wanted the floor to open and swallow me whole. I have never felt so incredibly ashamed and embarrassed in my entire life.
Honestly, Sam, picturing you standing there with your yellow jacket while the artist screams at you, I think that is a wonderfully embarrassing, highly painful vocabulary word for our listeners to deeply understand today. Mortified.
Yes, mortified. It is an excellent B1 adjective that describes a feeling of being absolutely, completely embarrassed and ashamed in front of a large group of people, like feeling completely mortified when you accidentally insult a massive red painting directly to the famous artist who painted it.
Listeners, you absolutely need to practice this completely shameful, embarrassed word and say it with us right now.
Say it loud and clear in your room, guys. Never talk to strangers in museums.
Mortified.
Mortified. I was entirely mortified, Lita. I honestly just ran directly out of the glass doors and went home to wash my gray dirt cup.
You are definitely not a modern art expert, Sam. But honestly, exploring the crazy world of English vocabulary is exactly like walking into a massive, beautiful museum. You never know what amazing new words you're going to find next.
Oh, absolutely. Listeners, you don't need to cry over red lines, but you definitely need a VIP pass to our vocabulary museum.
Exactly. So grab your official golden ticket for the next audio tour right now. Smash that subscribe button so you never miss a beautiful piece of English art and join our creative community.
Keep painting those vocabulary pictures in your brain, guys.
Your subscription is your VIP museum ticket, everyone. Thank you so much for completely laughing at dirt cups and angry artists with us today. Please keep your opinions secret at the gallery, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye, everyone. Go wash your paintbrushes.